Chapter 1, Rook and a pair of knights. I also want to deal with a few positions with 4 rooks on the board to be able to deal with the important question of the right exchange as well. As in the endgame rook and knight versus rook and knight, a small initiative already counts for a lot, and here with 2 active knights it might be even a bit more important. Like in Tobolov Karsten, Nanjing Pearl Spring 2010. Yeah, black to move, and his slight initiative is extremely unpleasant. So I found this really a bit amazing that white's defensive task is so difficult. What did Magnus Carlsen play? Rook b2 or knight d3? Rook b2. Knight d3 would spoil black's advantage. So white could expel the knight and then force simplifications. Now, yeah, it is a draw. But after rook b2, it's extremely unpleasant. Maybe rook d1 is best, but who plays such a move? And black keeps, of course, unpleasant play. What now? To exchange rooks or to keep the active rook? Of course, keep the rook. And white's knights defend each other, and so they are not so mobile anymore. This is sometimes a bad sign. Be careful when your knights are stuck defending each other. Here black is better, but white might be able to defend. In the game, after rook c2, Magnus Carlsen's initiative is really nasty. And here he even missed a better chance, according to Eduard's analysis in Chess with Magazine 139, to go directly after the weak f2 pawn with knight g4, or to play a5 to increase the space advantage and pressure on the queen side first. Knight g4 looks very dangerous. I haven't managed to find a satisfactory defense here. For example, Eduard gives this line, and now knight takes f2. And this should be winning for black. Very often 2 knights alone are a bad side for the endgame, as quoted from Eduard in Chess with Magazine. And really they are no match for black's active rook here. Black will win the a pawn first and then have the ending with rook and 2 pawns versus 2 knights, and here the knights really miss their rook. The rook can play quicker on both wings, and some kind of coordinator of the minor pieces and so on and so on. And here, black is probably winning, indeed. And this is very, very unpleasant for white. But okay, the move a5 is a mistake, but it's still very difficult over the board to defend. Yeah, now Magnus grabs more space with g5, and here after g4 Eduard's engines show that it's 0-0-0. But okay, a human would prefer to be black, who has more active knights and more space on the queen side, but theoretically then it's probably a draw if the engines insist. So taking here was a mistake, but maybe not a fatal one. Here, Tobolov committed a blunder, probably in high time pressure with rook c3. And then Magnus Carlsen's knight showed their tactical power. And so Veselin Topolov resigned. as he loses heavy material. Okay, but here there is still a possibility to defend. White's knights are passively stuck defending each other. Change that and activate your forces. It makes some sense to make yourself familiar with the geometry of the knight pair. Especially here in this chapter, this is one important aspect of the whole DVD, of course, to study the harmony and coordination of minor piece pairs and to restrict your opponent's minor pieces. Yeah, here rook d8 to free the knights, and knight e5 is the way to go. And then White is probably still able to defend, for example. Yeah. And here he has counterplay and can put the rook on the right square behind the passed pawn. And I haven't managed to find a win. Black is still for choice, but okay, so maybe I was a bit optimistic with the equal sign, but okay. On the other hand, White is now not so passive, well centralized, has an active rook. But it was crucial here to activate the forces, especially the knights. If they are stuck passively defending each other forever, this is not such a good sign, usually. They want to have active options as well.